everybody, it is Julie. Welcome back to Nobody's Beauty Guru, where I'm going to binge film a couple of Stars and Strikes videos. So get ready. I thought that the Stars and Strikes would be fitting to have my starry patriotic shirt on, so that's what I'm rocking. We're gonna go over my Stars and Strikes right now for powders slash setting powders. I don't use powder foundation. I have a couple powder foundations that I'm going to talk about, but it's not something that I use. I only use powders when I am setting my makeup or my under eye area. I've got some stars, I've got some strikes. Let's talk about them. So first up, I will talk about a couple of the foundations that I have. One of them is the NYX Hydra Touch. This is such a nice foundation, and the reason that I like it is because it is so smooth. The texture on this almost feels like a liquid. This is clearly not my color right now. This is a winter color, but it is so smooth. It's so nicely milled, and I really do like this. Again, I don't use powder foundation, so sometimes I will use this to set my under eye because it is lighter and it is so soft. The IT Cosmetics, this is the Celebration Foundation Illumination. My brush just fell out of the bottom. So that one is right here. Although still way too light for me right now. So during the winter, I might try to use this, hit pan on it. I don't know what I would use this to set all of my foundation. I prefer a lighter coverage foundation. So for me to use these to set foundation all over my face, I'm adding another layer of coverage that I just don't need. I'm not going to count them as strikes because they are at least powders that I have kept through different unhauls because I see a purpose for them if I ever decide to use a powder foundation, or if I ever really want extra coverage, or if I need to lighten up a foundation that's too dark and I want to use this to set to try to lighten it up a little bit. So I kept these because I feel like I can still find a purpose for them, but I don't use powder foundations. So if you're going to though, I guess they're not bad ones to use. Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I do use these lighter shades sometimes to set my under eye, specifically this one, which is closest to the banana powder, which I do have from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I do like that banana powder. But it's in like a Z palette stacked up in here, so I don't reach for it as much as I reach for this one. So I do like this. This one can set under my eyes as well, just to set concealer. This one I like to brighten, and I can use all of them really. I can mix and match them and make those work. So that's what I use for those four, and I do really like those. Then I have some loose powders, and these are what I use to set my facial area. This covers my under eye area. It also covers my entire face if I have a foundation that I feel like is a little bit too dewy and I don't think I'm going to be able to get a nice blend of blushes and contour and bronzer on top of it. I will set it with a loose powder. So first up is my Coty Airspun. This thing is gigantic. I put this in like a Mission Impossible, and I'm right here. Like, I have been using this nonstop for so long. There's so much product in this. 2.3 ounces of powder in this, and it's only a couple dollars. It is ridiculously, ridiculously priced. Now this one does have a smell to it. This is the original formula, so it does have that older woman perfumed scent to it. I've left this open for a while and the scent has dissipated. I mean, it's not gone, but I've also just gotten used to it. But I do like this. It's what I'm wearing today. It's what I've been wearing recently because I've just been trying to use this more, but I do enjoy it. That's definitely one of my favorites that I have found, and also probably the most affordable one that I have found, because my other favorites are pore filler, pore minimizer, pore blurring products, and they be pricey. So one of the ones that I have used is the Too Faced Primed and Poreless. I wish I would have gotten the pressed version of this. I didn't. There is a sifter on this that you can close, which I did not do. This one says it's skin smoothing, priming powder, and finishing veil. So apparently you can use this before you do your makeup. I guess if you had really oily skin, that might be nice to set your oils in before you put foundation on or something, but that's not something that I need. So I only use this as a finishing veil. Then in the same vein is the translucent IT Cosmetics. This is their Bye Bye Pores, and this one I use the same way as the Too Faced one. I actually have a backup of this. I got it as a set, I think, on QVC, where you got like two, or as a Haute Look thing. I don't know why, but two of them came. So those are my two pore blurring, priming, whatever powders. These, I do like the way they perform. However, I'm still reaching for my Coty Airspun right now, and I'm not missing either one of these. So that says something too, I guess. Those are my stars though for my powders. Let's jump into my strikes. So first up is one that I actually did use up. I had like 6 or 7 of these. It was ridiculous. This is the e.l.f. HD Under Eye Setting Powder. This one is the original format. This has like glitter particles in it. Now I know that they've reformulated it and there is no glitter in the new formula. And this is incredibly affordable. It's only $2. There's not a lot of product in here, but it does last a really long time. However, I don't see the need for it. I think that other powders work just fine under the eyes. I use my Coty Airspun under my eyes and I never have any problems. I also think that you could just use the HD setting powder from e.l.f., the really large tub, and do the same exact thing. My issue is with the glitter. If they've reformulated that, fantastic, but I don't think I need to repurchase this because I can use other powders for it. I don't need this small little tub. I can just use my other larger ones and it does the same exact thing. Another loose powder that I kept, I still have it. This is the NYX Mineral Set It and Don't Fret It Matte Finishing Powder. I don't need a matte finishing powder. I'm not oily enough to need a matte finishing powder. Number 2, it's got a color to it. There's a pigmentation to this. You can see it right there on my hand. It's not translucent. There is definitely like a color to it. It leaves a pretty strange cast on my skin. It feels great. It's nice and smooth. There is like a sifter in here, but it just came out all over the place. So, and this is in light medium. So unless you're incredibly pale, this is just not going to be something that works for you. And while it's called a finishing powder, I do think that it has a bit of coverage to it. I don't reach for this. This might be another one that works well under the eyes, but again, I don't need a matte powder there. I don't know why I've kept it, but I don't need it. Then we've got some pressed powders, and this one is one that I have as well. I'm keeping it because why not? This is the NYX Finishing Powder, mineral-based, just pressed translucent finishing powder. It's white. I don't think that this one is as finely milled. It definitely has like a grittiness to it. And that's white, that's not translucent. Like I can't put this on my skin and you don't see it. This looks like I've put baby powder all over my face. It blends out and it's not too bad, but I do think there's a white cast to it, especially when photographed. I've kept this because I know I can make it work. Maybe hit pan on it, get a little bit more use out of it. It is affordable. I wanted to give it a try, but I like my loose setting powders. I think they work better. And I just don't ever find myself reaching for this one. And then from NYX to possibly the most expensive setting powders, the Hourglass. This is the Ambient Lighting Palette in Dim Light, Incandescent Light, and Radiant Light. This is what they look like. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. And I know that I can find ways to make these work. I'm not saying that they're not finely milled. I'm not saying that they're not beautiful. I'm not saying that it's not a natural highlighter. I'm not saying that they're not pretty. I'm telling you that for what I paid for these, I've maybe used this 3 times. I don't reach for it. I don't reach for it when I want a highlighter because you guys know I like to glow. So this is not a highlighter to me. It's also not a setting powder to me. There is a shimmer to each one of these shades. And if I'm going to set my face, I want to set it with something matte. I don't need to add shimmer where I don't want shimmer. I clearly have no problems adding the glow where I want the glow, but I don't want that all over my face because then it's just too much glow. I haven't found a real good use for this. If you know a way to use this that you really, really love, definitely let me know because I spent a butt ton of money on it and I would like to get my use out of it. Those are all of my stars and strikes for my powders and setting powders. Like I said, it's not something that I use very much of, so I don't have a ton to go by. I will say that I did use up the Sexy Mama translucent setting powder from the Balm, and I did really enjoy that. It's an empty, and it was an empty I think from last year, so that's been trashed. But I did appreciate that one. If you're interested in checking out Claire, my co-creator, she will be linked down below, as well as everybody else who's taking part in this collab, as well as the dates for upcoming editions if you would like to join in and share some of your favorites. I have skincares lined up in front of me. They will be the next one, so if you're interested in talking about your favorite skincare products, definitely go ahead and film it and post that in a couple Tuesdays. And for now, that's everything. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you like this video, please do give me a big old thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye, guys.